Gambia, Angola, China Holding, Gash, producers of the finest tomato paste in the Gambia. Jaja tomato paste, available in 5 kilos, 1 kilo and in sachets. For wholesale and retail, visit our factory at Banjulunding. We are also producers of Jaja mineral water, cool, clear and fresh. Gash, Gambia, Angola, China Holding, with headquarters at Fatu Golden Plaza, Mile 7, Bertel Harding Highway. Gash Group also provides the best security company, Gash Security, for your offices, warehouses, homes and personal property. Gash Group for all your construction projects, offering you quality water reticulation for your gardens, pump irrigation, tidal irrigation projects and all types of buildings. You can contact Gash on 396-7894, 700-8993, 373-0259. Visit us at Gash Global Group on Battle Harden Highway, Fatu Golden Plaza. Our website www.gashglobal.com. Gambia, Angola, China Holding, Gash.
It's a warm reception to our studio here in Serekunda. This is Star TV News with me, Dara Cham. In the headlines tonight, President Barrow lays the foundation stone for Trans-Gambia Highway. Minister of Information and Communication updates on the funds and loan schemes for various ministries and youth organizations. Former police IG appointed new UNAMID police commissioner. On the international scene, India outrage over gang rapes leading to death. Trump tests positive for COVID-19. Dozens arrested as Hong Kong marks China's National Day. Those were the headlines, and now the news in details. His Excellency President Adama Barrow has fulfilled another promise he made to the Gambian people during the inauguration of the famous Trans-Gambia Bridge in 2019. Yesterday, he laid the Trans-Gambia Highway foundation stone for construction from Kir Ali in North Bank region to Senobar in Lower River region. Mariama Dem reports from Kir Ali.
The president continued his stone-laying adventures a week after laying the foundation stone for the long-awaited Hakalan Road in the North Bank region last week. Yesterday, he continued his tour of site visits and laying of a new foundation stone of the Trans-Gambia 24 kilometers highway. The people of North Bank region and Lower River region welcomed the president in a colorful way as they showed appreciation and excitement upon receiving the president for keeping his promise in laying the foundation stone of the Trans-Gambia Highway for construction to commence. He made this promise to the people of NBR and LRR during the inauguration ceremony of the famous Trans-Gambia Bridge in 2019. The 16 million euros project is funded by the European Union through the African Development Bank, and it is aimed at strengthening the Trans-Gambia Highway in connecting both the southern and northern part of the Gambia as well as Senegal, and to enhance free movement within the West African countries at large. The project is contracted to RSK Construction Company that have been in the country for 50 years to build the 24 kilometers road that will connect Ker Ali in North Bank region to Senoba in Lower River region. RSK is, however, entrusted with this project after a great scrutiny process was conducted as they also built the Trans-Gambia Bridge and the tolling facilities. The Trans-Gambia Highway is a component of the Dakar-Gambia, Bissau-Conakry, Cairo-Dakar-Lagos Trans-West African Highway, which is features from the ECOWAS program of events. This project implementation came into a reality after the African Development Bank conducted a massive road safety audit of $68.5 million. His Excellency President Adama Barrow says he is honored to lay the Trans-Gambia Highway foundation stone in Kir Ali as he continues to reflect on the aims and principles of the Trans-Gambia Bridge that was inaugurated in 2019.
To the memorable and historic inauguration of the Grand Senegambia Bridge, I am pleased to be here once again to lay the foundation stone for the second phase of the same Trans-Gambia Corridor project. Reflecting backwards, the key objectives of the construction of the Senegambia Bridge were principally to eliminate the bottlenecks caused by the ferry crossing at Yili Tenda and Bamba Tenda, and to facilitate the free flow of traffic within the region. As work on the bridge progressed, it became necessary to focus on the management of the expected increase in the volume of traffic that would be generated by the project. It was obvious that the Trans-Gambia Highway would require strengthening for it to contain the projected increase in traffic. In fact, in Senegal, the road links connected to this corridor on the north and south borders have already been upgraded in anticipation of the growth in traffic. We are gathered here, therefore, to set in motion phase 2 of the Trans-Gambia Corridor project.
President Barrow, however, thanked the African Development Bank and the European Union for supporting the Gambia in providing infrastructural development for its people.
Earlier provided a grant of $4.35 billion for the first phase. On completion of the studies conducted, the European Union (EU), through an arrangement with the AFDB, also granted the Gambia 16 million euros, which is equivalent to $880 million to finance the actual strengthening of the highway. This is what constitutes the second phase of the project. At this point, it is worth mentioning that
he further urges the people of NBR and LRR to join hands with the contractors in building the 24 kilometers road and take ownership of the project. Bailamin Job, Minister of Transport, Works and Infrastructure, says this is a project headed by the President and no one can stop it from happening. The Alcalde of Kero Ali Pitey, thanked the President and his counterparts for this project as he says his village has been left out in terms of development for many years. Kero Ali lacks human basic needs such as water, electricity, market and a school, he noted. He further urges Barrow and his government to continue bringing development to Kero Ali. The two governors of NBR and LRR, Lamin Sedikan and Rohi Manjang, and the two district chiefs of the two regions showed appreciation and excitement for the project, for his loyalty to his people and promised to work together to see the success of this Trans-Gambia Highway project construction. The contractor thanked the President for entrusting them with such project and promised to deliver as expected. The project will last for 18 months, and when the road is constructed and completed, it will ease and provide easy movement across the two regions and within the West African countries at large. Meanwhile, the President also handed over the toll facilities at the Trans-Gambia Bridge to its relevant authorities for operations. Maria Madem, reporting for Star TV News.
During the 9th season of the Inter-Ministerial Press Conference coordinated by Ministry of Information and Communication Infrastructure, the Minister of Information, Ibrahim Asilo, highlighted on the funds and loan schemes for various ministries and youth organizations to recover from the damage done by COVID-19. Binta Koli tells us more.
The government of the Gambia, through the Ministry of Tourism and Culture on Wednesday, announced the distribution of $100 million COVID-19 support fund for tourism resilience and recovery, the minister mentioned. The $100 million package is meant to help improve the resilience, effectiveness, and efficiency of actors in the tourism sector as the country prepares for the reopening of the 2020-2021 tourist season. The beneficiaries include tourist taxi drivers, fruit sellers, juice pressers, hairdressers, Senegambia market vendors, go-to-market vendors, K-Point craft market vendors, tourist guide and bird watchers. Miscellaneous businesses, hotels, guest houses or motels, up-country lodges or camps, ground operators, equipment hirers, and car rental companies, tourist boats, vessels or pigros, bars, restaurants and clubs, beach bars, travel agencies, casinos and gaming houses. Gambia Tourism and Hospitality Institute, Institute of Travel and Tourism of Gambia, the Fashion Designers Association, the Book Publishers Association, Theatre Association, Artistic Groups, Film Producers Association, National Center for Arts and Culture, and the Music Union Association. In other development, the minister informed journalists that the Minister of Youth and Sport has introduced a youth revolving loan fund scheme under the Youth and Sport Development Levy. The scheme has a start-off fund of $22 million, which shall be periodically replenished to deepen outreach and maximize impact. The revolving fund comprises 1. The seed fund to be managed by the Social Development Fund. 2. Grant, training, coaching, and monitoring to be managed by National Enterprise Development Initiative. The Personal Management Office has completed the disbursement of batch 14 of the Civil Service Revolving Loan Scheme. This was disbursed to all the 3 different categories of loan beneficiaries, namely car and housing loans to eligible civil servants in the first half of the 2020 fiscal year. 107 people benefited from personal loans, 18 people benefited from car loans, and 14 people benefited from housing loans, he said. Minister Silla added that the fundamental objective of the Civil Service Revolving Loan Scheme is geared towards attracting, retaining, and motivating a highly professional workforce for effective and efficient service delivery. The scheme is playing an important role in the attraction and retention of key civil service personnel. The Star TV News, I am Binta Koli.
At a colorful ceremony full of pomp and pageantry held yesterday at the UNAMID headquarters in Central Darfur State, Police Commandant unveiled its new police commissioner, Mr. Landin Kinte, a veteran police officer who rose to the rank of Inspector General, highest rank of the Gambia Police Force, and a seasonal former diploma prior to his current appointment. The story by Star TV Sports Stephen Pereira. And I report. The UNAMID Chief Administrator soured special praises on Dr. Sultan Azim Timori, who had acted as UNAMID Police Commissioner for the past 18 months. Mr. Amadou Mane gave an in-depth explanation of the current strength of the UNAMID police component and remarked, "We will support you with every breath in us for you to succeed as police commissioner. You have our support," he said. The UNAMID Police Chief of Operations, Mr. Yamini Asnisa, who acted as officer in charge, UNAMID Police Component, made a powerful point presentation detailing the operations of the UNAMID Police and the 13 team sites across the Darfur region of Sudan. Mr. Yamani Asnisa informed the new UNAMID Police boss about the United Nations Security Council Resolution 2525, upon which UNAMID is mandated to operate. In his concluding remarks, the UNAMID Police Chief of Operations said, "Your comment has renewed our belief that UNAMID mandate will be extended beyond 31st December 2020. This remark was received with thunderous rounds of applause. After observing established protocols, the UNAMID Police Commissioner, Mr. Landin Kinte, remarked that it was a privilege and an honor working with UNAMID for the 3rd time, but in a different capacity. He went further to state, "I have worked with 2 different UNAMID Police Commissioners, but my reception is exceptional. Your support, cooperation, and collaboration are critical to the success of my tenure as UNAMID Police Commissioner. Let us work as a team to achieve our goals," he said. Mr. Landin Kinte commended the UNAMID Police Component for its numerous innovations, which he admitted were never present in his previous spells with UNAMID. He commended to the UNAMID Police Public Information Office for promulgating the activities of the police component and ended by cautioning everyone that COVID-19 is real. Please continue to observe the preventive measures. A cultural performance, Guard of Honor, was hosted by the ever-reliable UNAMID Togo-formed police unit. Climaxed the event. Reporting for Star TV News, I am Dado Chan. Those were the local stories. We will be back with the international news after this short break.
Gambia, Angola, China Holding, Gosh, producers of the finest tomato paste in the Gambia. Jeja tomato paste, available in 5 kilos, 1 kilo and in sachets. For wholesale and retail, visit our factory at Banjulaling. We are also producers of Jeja mineral water, cool, clear and fresh. Gosh, Gambia, Angola, China Holding, with headquarters at Fatu Golden Plaza, Mile 7, Bertel Harding Highway. Gosh Group also provides the best security company, Gosh Security, for your offices, warehouses, homes and personal property. Gosh Group for all your construction projects, offering you quality water reticulation for your gardens, pump irrigation, tidal irrigation projects and all types of buildings. You can contact Gosh on 396-7894, 700-8993, 373-0259. Visit us at Gosh Global Group on Battle Harden Highway, Fatu Golden Plaza. Our website www.goshglobal.com. Gambia, Angola, China Holding, Gosh.
Welcome back. Now the news beyond our borders. There has been outrage in India after the case of a woman who was gang raped and subsequently died came to light in the north state of Uttar. The latest victim was a 22-year-old who died on Tuesday. The same day, a 19-year-old girl also died after being raped by a gang. Both victims were from the Dalit community, with often faces discriminations. Al Jazeera Sarah Karit reports.
As news spreads of the gang rape and the death of a second woman from the Dalit community, these protesters try hard to enter the village where the first victim was from. But it's now under lockdown. An emergency law was brought in on Thursday after days of demonstrations.
We have Section 144 of the Indian Penal Code active in the district right now, which means we are not allowing an assembly of more than 5 people.
Police went on to detain leader of the opposition Congress party Rahul Gandhi and his sister as they tried to get into Hathras village to meet the victim's family.
The police officials pushed me, hit me with sticks right now when I fell down. I'm not saying anything about that. I have no problem. I'm only asking this question that in India only BJP and RSS people can walk on the road. Can common people not walk? In this country only Modi can walk. Can a common citizen not walk?
The latest victim was a 22-year-old who died on Tuesday on her way to a hospital in Lucknow in the northern state of Uttar Pradesh. The same day as the 19-year-old first victim died after spending 2 weeks in a hospital in Delhi. Police say they've made arrests in both cases and have denied accusations by the family of the first victim of cremating her body without their permission. The separate cases have reignited protests across several states and online demanding justice for victims of sexual violence.
If he, Yogi Adityanath, can't protect women, then it's better that he should voluntarily step down and resign. He can't run the government.
If the Uttar Pradesh government is on the women's side, then why are rapes happening every other day? Every other day there are sexual assaults and other crimes happening to women. We will teach this government a lesson.
Not only did both women live in the same state, but they were also both from the Dalit community, marginalised for being at the bottom of India's deeply entrenched caste system. Despite laws protecting what were formerly known as the untouchables, they faced daily discrimination for generations.
So the so-called mainstream society regards the sexual violence against upper caste women as a serious issue, but when it happens to a lower caste woman, they are trying to protect their caste privileges and the caste pride. They are not coming out as they would come for an upper caste woman. For instance, in this Hathras case, she was brutalized, she was in the hospital, but she was not even given proper medical care.
The issue of sexual violence against women has been under the spotlight in India since the 2012 gang rape and murder of a woman in Delhi, which led to huge nationwide protests and changes to the country's rape laws. But this time, protesters say it hasn't been enough to protect these two women in Uttar Pradesh. Sarah Khairat, Al Jazeera.
Donald Trump has announced he and the First Lady have tested positive for coronavirus. The couple got tested after his top 8 Hope Hacks contracted the virus. Al Jazeera Rock Reynolds reports.
The news came in a late-night tweet from the White House. President Donald Trump wrote, "Tonight, the First Lady and I tested positive for COVID-19. We will begin our quarantine and recovery process immediately. We will get through this together. It is not known how, despite elaborate precautions and constant testing of White House officials, the White House press corps, and others in contact with Trump, the president contracted the virus. But earlier, one of Trump's top aides, Hope Hicks, was confirmed to have tested positive. Hicks accompanied the president to the debate in Cleveland, Ohio on Tuesday. Trump phoned into a Fox television program earlier on Thursday and talked about Hicks having been exposed.
It's a tough kind of a situation. It's a terrible thing. So I just went for a test, and we'll see what happens. I mean, who knows?
The White House physician, Sean Conley, said Trump and the First Lady are both well at this time, and that the White House medical team will maintain a vigilant watch. Melania Trump later tweeted, "We are feeling good." Trump has several risk factors that put him in danger of complications from COVID-19. He is in his mid-70s and overweight.
We have to wait for the next few days. For some people get really sick within hours, but, some people don't get sick until a week after. And so we have to really be carefully observing the situation.
Trump has declined to wear a mask on many occasions, including at rallies, where many of his supporters also refuse to wear a mask. His entourage, including family members, went maskless at the Tuesday debate. Trump even ridiculed Democratic candidate Joe Biden for wearing a mask, as recommended by virtually all public health experts.
I don't wear masks like him. Every time you see him, he's got a mask. He could be speaking 200 feet away from it. He shows up with the biggest mask I've ever seen.
If Trump were to become seriously ill and unable to carry out his duties, the Constitution provides for Vice President Mike Pence to take over temporarily. Pence said he is praying for Trump's recovery.
There can be no spin. There can be no cover-ups. There has to be clear understanding of what is going on with this person, this president of the United States, because otherwise, if he is not capacitated to take care of the business, he will have to be, by the 25th Amendment, transition has to occur.
But a glaring question now is how the news will affect Trump's re-election campaign. Already trailing nationally and in certain important swing states, it would seem that Trump can ill afford to stay out of commission for a quarantine period of 2 weeks. Trump joins other world leaders, including Brazil's President Jair Bolsonaro and the UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson, who have contracted the virus. Worldwide, the death toll from COVID-19 has exceeded 1 million. Rob Reynolds, Al Jazeera.
At least 80 people have been arrested in Hong Kong after defying a ban of protest. The arrest came during China's National Day holiday, which marks the founding of the People's Republic of China 71 years ago. Al Jazeera Adris Brown reports.
Under the shadow of COVID-19 and deepening concerns over a new security law, this was a subdued National Day for many people here. But at a ceremony attended by Hong Kong's political elite, the territory's leader, Carrie Lam, said the legislation had brought stability.
Over the past 3 months, the plain truth is, and it is obvious to see, that stability has been restored to society, while national security has been safeguarded, and our people can continue to enjoy their basic rights and freedoms in accordance with the law.
Some, not on the guest list, tried to stage a demonstration outside the venue. A protest that was quickly extinguished by police. On a day when they were braced for trouble. Riot officers sealed off a busy shopping area, ready to act quickly to stamp out any signs of unrest. They'd earlier denied permission for a march, citing COVID-19 and the potential for violence.
We cannot have a well-organized rally today, but I think most of the Hong Kong people will come out at the street to express their anger.
There were many arrests. taking to more than 10,000 the number of people detained in protests since last June.
The combined effect of the new security law plus social distancing measures means we've seen no repeat of the mass protests of a year ago. Conventional demonstrating in Hong Kong is now effectively over, but the movement behind the protests continues.
So people have had to become more creative in how they protest, like displaying the newspaper most critical of the government. There was some overt resistance though, with heckling and chanting of pro-independence slogans. In the Chinese capital, Beijing, the mood was very different. Not a mask in sight at a ceremony in Tiananmen Square, a mass gathering that would be hard to imagine in many other countries today, and a reminder of how life in China is returning to normal. A week-long holiday is likely to be a test, though, of the country's success in controlling the virus. Adrian Brown, Al Jazeera, Hong Kong.
Before we end the news, a recap of our main headlines. President Barrow lays the foundation stone for Trans-Gambia Highway. Minister of Information and Communication updates on the funds and loan schemes for various ministries and youth organizations. Former police IG appointed new UNAMID police commissioner. On the international scene, India outrage over gang rapes leading to death. Trump tests positive for COVID-19. Dozens arrested as Hong Kong marks China's National Day. That's all for this edition of the news. Please enjoy the rest of our programs and join us for tomorrow's news. Thank you for watching.